Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Mushroom Wonderland. I'm happy to be out in the forest today with a couple of awesome mycologists that I follow on Facebook and Inaturalist. Today we're here with Drew Henderson and with Alan Rockefeller up in the mountains of the Olympic Peninsula, kind of near Mount Walker. So Drew's an author of a book. You want to tell us a little bit about the book that you wrote?
Yeah, sure. This is my book, Fungal Freedom. You can get a Kindle version for about $4. So if you get the online version, then you've got kind of a go-to app, and it's all organized with an index to go to sections and species on it for a lot cheaper.
Awesome.
But I gave Aaron one because I love what he's doing with Mushroom Wonderland, and I love his enthusiasm and his knowledge and his passion for fungi and how he's getting more and more people excited about it. So
cool,
I'm
man.
giving him that copy.
Super stoked.
Yeah.
Fungal Freedom, $4 download. So that's
that's
a really good
for
deal.
The download, yeah.
And Drew doesn't miss. Like, I watch this guy IDing mushrooms all day long on all the forums. Like, he's on it, man. And he's always been really kind to me, so I always liked him. So it's an honor to be out here in the woods with you.
Yes,
and
sir.
if you don't know by now,
the legend,
Alan Rockefeller is with us. So we're on our way to Port Angeles, and me and Alan have been hanging out for a couple of days. Just really stoked to be able to make videos with guys like you and to bring the mycology to you guys. So I hope you sit back and relax and enjoy this episode of Mushroom Wonderland.
Welcome to Mushroom Wonderland.
So what are you filling out right there?
Oh, I'm filling out, this is for the Continental MicoBlitz.
What is the Continental MicoBlitz?
Well, let's let Alan actually tell us more about it, because he kind of like the work he's doing with Quilcene and I mean,
yeah.
Tell us a little bit more.
Yeah, Continental MicoBlitz is where we sequence a lot of mushrooms. And I don't know, there's a lot I could possibly say about it. But,
What's the purpose of it?
figure out how many mushrooms we have in North America.
Right.
And what they are.
Then you can kind of set a baseline to know if they're rare or not, or if they're endangered and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because before this, we just didn't really know how many mushrooms we had or what they looked like. There's always been a lot of mushroom photos, and there's always been a lot of DNA sequences, but they're not linked together. And
cool.
So with this way, you have the photos with the sequences. You can see exactly what got sequenced. It makes the sequences way more valuable.
Awesome.
So it's a way that amateur mycologists and professionals can all collaborate and generate professional quality data.
So walk us through it. We found some mushrooms.
Oh yeah, here
I take a picture.
Loiophyllum sepiarium, and I took a few field photos first, the way I normally do with my hand for scale and whatnot. And
where do you get the slip?
oh, you print it out online. You go to the Continental MicoBlitz site, and you can print out as many sheets as you want. You can print out 200 sheets if you want.
Perfect.
But for free, you can sequence 10 for every MicoBlitz. So you usually, I'll find things that I know are significant, but just because of habit, I sometimes will do ones that are common, but just kind of look a little more different. And sometimes they come out genetically different than what we thought they were, or we'll get more details about what they actually are.
So you write down some descriptions. What if you don't know what it is?
If you don't know what it is, you can just put, if it's a guild one, you can put agaricales. For this, you could put it as polyporales. And then just leave it. And then an expert will help you identify it later. One of us will help them identify it later. Or just leave it blank and sequence it, and the genetic data will tell you what it is.
MicoBlitz.com.
There you go.
MicoBlitz.com? All right.
MicoBlitz.com.
Cool. So get involved. You can help contribute to science.
Yep.
Just any old
buddy.
Yeah,
and you'll make a contribution.
Awesome.
Free for the first 10.
So what do we find here? Can you describe one of these to us?
I was waiting for Alan and you to come, and Boyd and I found these Cyclocybe arebia, and they're related to Agroscibe. If you're familiar with the Agroscibe, the spring Agroscibe praecox, yeah, they're related to those. It actually, Alan, it used to be Agroscibe arebia.
Not even that long ago.
Not even that long ago. So yeah, I found these. They were right under this really young alder sapling here, which is kind of weird because we usually find them in like more urban settings. But
so are these saprotrophic then?
I think they're not. They're saprophytic. Yeah, or saprotrophic. They're not mycorrhizal. But so maybe the alder, maybe some of these old. See, look right here. There's some old rotten. Maybe they're helping degrade and break that down and recycle it. But yeah, when they're really young, I love them at that stage when they're real chestnut and the veil covers the gills, and then as they get older,
acorn.
And they have kind of a pale brownish spore print. William's breaking this log down. Hey, this is Gloriophilum sepiarium.
Let's see what we got.
And they have really cool, it's a polypore, but these really thick, fat, splitting gills. You can feel they're really woody.
Cool.
And it's a pretty mushroom when it dries out. It's real velvety and tomatose on the cap, but always look for that orange-white kind of combo of these thick, fat kind of. They almost remind me of like Lentinus, you know? They're like saw-like looking gills almost.
Yeah.
But it's a polypore. So
It's a gilled polypore.
it's a gilled polypore, kind of like, you know, the misnomer of the gill boletes.
yeah.
The same idea that it's kind of like people say, wait, no, the rule is this, but
Interesting.
mushrooms never do what we want them to do. You know?
That texture, sorry about my finger there.
No, I like your finger. It's good.
That texture kind of reminds me of, what is it, like a Tramedes a little bit.
Uh-huh.
It's all wet.
Yeah, it's like it gets kind of wet toilet papery once it gets wet. Cool mushroom though.
Cool.
was like
Conifer dwelling, saprophyll.
Yeah, and I find them on like docks and like railings, like treated wood sometimes too. Like you'll find them a lot.
So you're taking your photos to upload them onto.
Yes, onto
iNat?
Mushroom Observer first, and then onto iNat. I always do Mushroom Observer first because I, started an herbarium back in 2011.
Well, you know what you can do then is you can upload it to Mushroom Observer and then just run Jacob Polk script and it automatically copy everything.
I know.
on
I just
that.
like
Is that
to
what
do
you
it. I just like to do it manually. I know it takes more time.
I do it manually too.
I just do it manually because sometimes, if I go on a trip, the ones that I'm keeping, I know I want to keep because I have like kind of my gratis to the Mushroom Observer first because I was with it longer. Which actually, iNat's gotten a lot better with Mushroom ID. It was terrible for a while.
I think I first got familiar with you on iNaturalist before
Really?
I even knew you on Facebook because you had always you were always like really polite when you would like ID things to me and stuff, and I was like, oh, that's cool.
Take that as they're snotty to you about it, but it's like I try to always like explain why I said it was something.
Yeah.
Some people don't. They just
Well, some people are snotty and give you the cry face and they don't explain why, and it's like why be rude?
Mushrooming should be a fun, inviting thing, not an exclusive. Especially now with what Alan's doing and all these guys that are figuring more out every week. It's like everybody should keep an open mind. You never know an absolute.
Oh yeah.
That's the berberine that's super fluorescent in here.
Cool. On an Oregon grape. Oh, cool.
Wonder if I could paint myself with it. Oh yeah, it works pretty
That's
good.
awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't know about that. Cool trick.
Someone just told me about that on Facebook a couple weeks ago.
All right, what do we find here?
This is Suillus cerulescens. And the slippery jack, genus Suillus. There's also Suillus lakei, which can superficially look similar from far away, but it's got a really tomentose, floccose cap. Whereas this one looks kind of that way, but if you look close, it's just wrinkled more with streaks.
Kind of reminds me of a pancake, right?
Like a exactly, like like a nicely cooked pancake. And they usually occur really early in the season, at least down where I live in Olympia, like September. So it's kind of odd. It's showing, at least the mushrooms so far this year are showing us that a lot of things are late. So, we're getting mushrooms almost a month late that normally I would get.
So you said the slippery jack, is this the same as Suillus luteus? Or is this
in the same genus, yeah. But this is Suillus cerulescens, and the cerulent means blue, like cerulean, right? So if you look down at the base, especially when they get old, the base will be like vibrant blue.
Oh.
When you see there already, we're getting a little bit of that blue green coming in there. And the funny thing is that Suillus lakei also stains blue at the extreme base.
But luteus does not.
No, luteus does not. The ones that are the really slimy, glutinous ones don't stain blue. But there you go. Now you're seeing the blue stain in there. See?
Yeah.
Where I sliced it.
So a lot of people are always asking about the Suillus. Can I eat it? Can I eat it? Can I eat it?
And you can. They're not my fave. I've eaten this kind before. Alan, what do you think of Suillus?
Do you eat them? Chef can make them really good.
A what?
A really talented chef can make them really good.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not that, so that's probably why.
I've heard people say peel the sponge, wash the surface.
Right.
Peel the cap.
All this extra work.
These ones are actually kind of like nice and dry on top.
Basically, just tear it apart and throw everything in the trash.
Yeah, except for few choice edible bites of it.
Yeah. Choice edible bites of it.
Choice, yeah.
Okay, that's
Made
a pretty
sense,
bold
right?
claim. Yeah. All right. Suillus cereulescens.
Yeah, you can cut
Do
off
these
that.
grow in urban settings, or these are just
Yes,
kind of
I see them
forest?
actually right across from my son Boyd's school. They are in abundance under Doug fir, always with Doug fir. And if you
Okay.
look at the pore surface here, all Suillus have these elongated pores.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas like
those are beautiful.
with Boletus, it's nice and round and usually stuffed when they're young and tight. Yeah. Whereas with these, when they get fully mature, I mean, it's like they look like these like diamond shaped, elongated pores. So if you're in doubt, and if you see a lot of ornamentation on the stem plus this shape of pore, it's usually a good bet that you're
And
looking
that
at
really,
a Suillus.
that really thin margin is kind of indicative of
Yeah, you're
of
right.
the Suillus.
Totally, because boletes usually don't have a really thin knifing edge. Okay, hold on, my son. What'd you find, big guy? For Mycena, and I would say that these are Purpurea fusca.
But the Prairie Fusca has the
Marginate gills. Do these
so
not
I
have marginate
don't
gills?
think it does.
Oh, you're right, they don't.
Marginate gills means it's got a color on the edge. is
Yeah,
that
the
right?
gill edges would be dark.
Those are beautiful, though.
Yeah, so yeah, they're definitely. Let me smell. No bleach odor. You getting a bleach odor at all?
Nah.
A lot of the nondescript Mycenas, if you're lucky, have a bleach odor, and then you know where to kind of head in your key. But yeah, and look at the base here. Look how tomentose with the
Yeah, kind of interesting.
the woolly mycelium popping out, and they're prunos here, which means they look kind of dusty, like a grape. It has that dust over it. That's how I always think of prunos. So what would you call this one, Alan?
It's Mycena.
Yeah, we know it's not.
Probably
don't
a
know which-
reasonable one to send in. That would be interesting
Yeah.
to see.
What'd you find here?
Just a really teeny tiny Russula brevipies. We were all talking about that actually, ironically, a minute ago. And so the one that's really cool, brevipies is really boring most of the time, and brevipies means short stem. But there's a var acrior, a variety that's called var acrior, and it's acrid, it's hot and spicy. And it has a really neon band right where the gills meet the stem at the apex. This one doesn't do that.
You're the one who posted that the other day? With
Yeah.
the blue band?
Yeah.
That was an awesome picture.
Well, I have before, yeah. And then, so if you taste it, sometimes the blue band doesn't come through until it's a little more mature.
Mm-hmm.
And they brown stain a lot like this, so I'm just tasting it to see.
If it's acrid brevipies. I've never heard of that. So these could be host to the lobster mushroom, yeah? I wonder if it'd be an
It
acrid.
is spicy, you guys.
Would it be a spicy lobster
You
then?
wanna try it? It's very spicy.
No, I don't need to.
So,
But it
so
looks
it's,
like it's almost greenish to me.
yeah.
And that var acrio is a name from Idaho, so it should be good here.
So you remember, that's why Latin's so fun, is because you learn how to categorize in your head, like what things are once you kind of learn. I don't know a ton of Latin, but I know enough that, acrid, acrior. So
Yeah.
it's like the acrid version of Russula brevipies, and it usually has more brown staining on the top. It's a little more firm and compact. Up on the coast, I find them a lot.
Do you think
So-
these parasitize into lobster mushrooms?
Sure, yeah,
this
lobsters can
species?
parasitize it, and that it would give you a spicy lobster, I suppose. In all the years I've hunted, I've never had a spicy lobster, but I'm sure it's possible.
That's
And
the
maybe
next
the
thing. to look for.
hypomyces somehow takes out that acrid component,
Right.
acrid chemical.
It's like the
But
blue
anyway.
reishi and the spicy lobster. Now I got two that I'm looking for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was kind of fun. We were just talking about this, and there it was. So
So where you see these, you might find lobster mushrooms.
yes, yeah, wherever you see a lot of white Russula, you see
It seems like they prefer a little more light to come through the canopy, maybe like a little more sunshine. They're
Sure.
okay with that.
yeah. And
Good.
you had the instinct. You said that we'd find lobbies here, and sure
We-
enough, we found some old lobbies.
We did see old lobster mushroom. I didn't film that, but refer back to one of the older videos
They were
and you
mushy
see all
and
about
rotten,
them.
so,
Yeah, so it's pretty.
Now you call it
warm.
Russula or Russula?
I call it three different things interchangeably, just so
Or
that.
some people emphasize the Russula,
Yeah,
Or-
I always said Rusula, but I guess most mycologists say Russula, so
right, like
I feel like
R-U-S-S.
yeah, so- yeah.
And my friend.
So I feel like Russula is closer than Rusula, but I don't know. So I just say it all.
Who was friends with lots of old-time mycologists called it Russula too. And I always
Russula,
thought,
yeah.
I still just the way my brain holds it is Russula.
When I hear people stumbling on words, like I used to always say Inocybe, right?
Right.
But I learned from reading old books. I didn't learn from watching YouTube and stuff. So when I see somebody who's like stumbling through the words because they read it, I'm like, kudos. That's because you read, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
So I appreciate that.
Let's look here.
So
We're
we
gonna
got some
smell
little-
spermatic. They're gonna smell like kind of corn mixed with wet towel and chlorine.
Spermatic.
Yeah, kind of weird, but I mean,
So
if you're being
Inocybe.
adult about it, it's like, yeah, you know what they're talking about. It's just weird that mycologists use that. And I remember with Xerum polina for Russula, that was based on something about like the opposite end of the spectrum for like how women's areas smell. Did you ever read that back in the day? The Latin derivative supposedly is supposed to be, because you know they smell shrimpy. Like
I don't really smell anything.
no spermatic smell. No, I got a little bit of sperm. Okay. That's definitely in the
I don't know.
Geophylla group.
So Inocybe geophylla could
Yeah.
contain like muscarine, probably
Yes,
poisonous and
yeah.
dangerous.
You don't want to eat them, but I love them. I know Alan likes them too. I like doing microscopy on them.
Yeah.
When you look at their gill edge is really neat. They have these metalloids. Metalloid cystidia. They're really
Metalloid cystidia look like a big spike or
like,
something.
yeah, like a big kind of like jester's hat looking.
Yeah.
Like a big bowling pin with a jester's hat on top.
Cool.
Yeah, and these ones are really cool.
And in here in the
we
Pacific
go.
Northwest, they're kind of a common lawn mushroom. Oh yeah, that
smell that
stinks. So Inocybe can grow in lawns where there's conifer tree nearby, kind of thing here in the Northwest.
Yeah, they're mycorrhizal, so they always grow in association.
Kind of a medium brown spore print.
Yep,
typically,
yeah, like a straw brown, kind of grayish brown. And I love Inocybe. It was like a challenge for me. Back in the day, people always were like, oh no, I don't even mess with my Inocybe. And it's like, well, some of them are really neat. They're like, the microscopy is so neat. So.
Somebody's got to love them.
Someone's got to love them. Yeah.
Not much smell. I put them all together and see.
How many species of Inocybe are there, do you know?
No.
Pretty big genus.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Cantarellus subalbitus.
Wow.
Subalbitus. It's a white chanterelle. And they stain orange real rapidly. So if you find a bunch of them that are small and you have them in your bag when you get home, a lot of the times people will say, are these goldens or are these whites?
It's just staining on the white
Just
one.
staining on the white one, yeah. But these are one of my favorite.
That one's super prime. Like
It's a nice
usually they're
one.
really dirty and all
Yeah,
contorted.
and they have stuff kind of all wriggled in. That one's just
That one's
real nice.
perfect.
Boy, do you remember what kind this is?
Your white Chanterelle.
Yeah.
White chanterelle.
Yep.
He knows his stuff. That's a beauty.
The hymenophore is veined, not gilled.
The hymenophore being the spore bearing.
The part that drops spores, yeah.
Okay.
Because some are teethed, some are pored, some are these have veins. All chanterelles have
Highly
veins in them.
decurrent, right?
Yeah,
for the
highly
navy?
decurrent, and the anastomosing little wrinkles in between.
It's a pretty one.
Jacob Polk was saying that all chanterelles have gills.
Really?
Yeah,
They're
because some
considered
they look
gills?
more like gills than veins. Veins are like what are in your wrist. Those look more like gills.
Right.
A lot closer to gills than veins, but just thick gills.
I think for like
I've heard
teaching a
ridges.
novice- yeah, ridges, yeah. But teaching a novice, like that definitely looks less like, like Hygrotheropsis or Antiochus, so that's why.
Thicker. I think I
Thicker,
got some
there you go.
coming
Thicker
in my
vein.
C's.
I guess we could say thicker gills would be a good way, right?
Yeah.
Cool little scene. So what do we come across here?
Well, you've got the Suillus lakei here, which you can see earlier on you videotaped us looking at Suillus cerulescens.
Yeah.
But these, look how scaly and hairy tomentose the cap is. These are really young ones too. As it opens out, the shags get longer and hang over. And this right here is Gomphidius. They look like a crow gomphus, but they're covered in slime. These ones have dried out a little bit. When they get to this level of dryness, they're kind of tacky.
Yeah.
But
So they're growing right next to each other.
they're
Why
going
is
right,
it?
yeah, their mycelium is parasitizing the mycelium of this species. So oftentimes you find them together, and different Gomphidius parasitize different Suillus. And I'm not a geneticist or anything. I don't know exactly why or how, but you'll
So-
often find them in association.
Parasitize, so it's just pulling nutrients from the Suillus.
Right. Its mycelium is, kind of like a mycoheterotrophic plant,
Yeah.
with matsutake. They gain their nutrients from the mycelium as the mycelium gets its nutrients from a tree.
All right, so he cut the Suillus lakei in half.
Yep, and we're gonna rub the bottom here because they actually turn blue too, the extreme base.
You know what
they're
causes
older.
that?
I don't know what causes that. It's the same. Alan might be able to tell us more about why they turn blue. I don't know.
All right. Different
whether
than the
that's
psilocybin.
Yeah. They're not gonna make you experience a new version of life. But
There's Suillus lakei all around. It looks like a
Yeah.
fairy ring here.
it does, yeah. All the way
Yeah.
up and around. They're really pretty mushroom. I think I've always thought they're a beautiful mushroom. They're kind of boring and common, but they're really pretty.
Yeah.
And so I'll do that, and then
And these also edible. Basically,
Yes.
Suillus are okay to eat.
Yeah. All Suillus are edible.
They're pretty.
They are pretty, man.
I mean, they're
Almost
ugly, but they're pretty. They're like
Yeah.
hideous, but they're agonfidious. So, your son's excavating some moss, and look at all the mycorrhiza under here.
Oh yeah, let's take a look. Thanks, Boyd.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Wow.
Good, you're helping out,
So
buddy.
this is all just fungal mycelium.
Yes.
Who knows what it belongs to, but that's an awesome
That's a good example.
shot of mycorrhiza just growing on the rocks, everything making its way through the substrate. And it really doesn't go too deep, most mycorrhiza.
Kind
huh?
of close to the top. Yeah.
There's an awesome Gallerina. You can tell it's Gallerina because it has kind of this floccose mycelium on the stem base, going up and down the stem, and it's growing in moss. These Gallerinas are in the Gallerina semilanceata group, and they are probably edible because it's only the big Gallerinas in the marginata group that have the toxins. But we definitely need to sequence these to figure out for sure what it is, but my guess is Gallerina semilanceata.
There's like a beautiful waterfall in the background, but look at the mushroom guys are just like got their back to it. Just looking at tiny little things growing in the... Oh, these are awesome. So what are these?
These are Arinia. Alan, what section would you say these are in, or what are they close
I'd
to?
be surprised if it has a name.
They're beautiful. I love
Very
them.
cute.
And it's funny, they look so much like Lichenophilia.
They do. Oh, look at the
Lichenophilia
gills.
are always just, yeah, they're so neat. That one's got like a nice little pruno space too. Yeah,
I'm going to take some fancy pictures of these because they're just too cool.
yeah, do it.
What'd you guys find right here?
Oh, these are some kind of Rickenella. I'm not sure what. See the little decurrent gills here?
Daddy got some
And
other
they're
things too.
pretty vibrant orange.
Oh, yeah.
I think, and they're grown in moss, the association with moss. So I'm thinking Rickenella, but they're
Rickenella. That's like a hygrocebe.
So yeah, they're super duper duper tiny though. So I'm not sure if I'm wrong on that, but I think
Cool.
it's worth sequencing them, right?
Yeah, they're beautiful little orange
They are.
mushrooms.
Boyd was
They
planting
don't have
them on-
that dark stem, or else I might think.
No, they don't. It
Gerontolina.
almost looks mycenoid. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But I'm just guessing. I'm kind of guessing with the Rickenella. But the
Oh,
association
look
with
how
moss,
little
these
those
are
are.
super small. There's my finger for scale.
So most people are out looking for big mushrooms that you
Right.
can eat.
That you can eat. Yeah,
But
or
Drew
use for-
really likes finding these little tiny things, huh? Go over to mushroom-wonderland.com to get merch like this cool sweatshirt. This is the original logo design, but there's some other designs like the cozy cabin, sunshine amanita design. There is the tent in the forest mushroom wonderland design. You can get mugs, you can get shirts and hats and all the stuff that you want to let people know that you have a lot of mush love in you. You can help support the channel. If you like what me and Gunnar are doing out here in the forest, please help support Mushroom Wonderland by buying a t-shirt or a sticker or a coffee mug. Mushroom-wonderland.com and get yourself some merch. Back to the video, let's go. Hey, right on everybody. That was a super good episode of Mushroom Wonderland. It was really nice to be out in the woods with you guys, learning more and more. There's always more to learn. Whenever I think I know something about a mushroom, then I get proven wrong. So I think that's one of the lures of this field of study, is that it just is ever expanding and growing and keeps you guessing. And so been fun out here with you guys, and thank you for coming on Mushroom Wonderland.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
All right, take care everyone. Much love.